Can you see them?
Yeah, it says Ellie is recording the call, so this is it's recording right now. It's look like it's
Oh
recording.
my gosh. And guess what? We're live. We're live.
How do I look? How do I look? How do I look? How do I look?
It only took 1.5 hours, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
All right, so here we go. This is our very first live episode.
Yeah.
Of Inner Cosmetics. Where's the cheer?
Yeah. It's a cheer. It's a cheer. I put my arm up, but I haven't worked out too much, so let's see.
Wow. I'm going to be using a lot of these effects, I can already tell. All right, so we're excited. So already we're up to episode 5. Yesterday we did episode 4, Answers in the Silence. If you didn't catch that one, we suggest that you do. Mike. Oh, let me turn up your volume.
All right.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, don't be muting me, Ellie, so you can just have a one-sided show.
I know, right?
I'd be like...
I'll just be encouraging you. Yes! The entire time, right? So I like the topic of the day.
Yes.
So we're going to dive into why you're not getting what you really, really want.
What's the reason behind why you don't get what you want? And Ellie, speaking of that, we'll jump right in. I love jumping right in. You ever notice that if you name something, like a fleeting thought of something, like you say, you know what, I haven't heard from such and such from Jim in so long. And coincidentally, it was just a thought. It would have been cool. You haven't heard from him. So it meant something, but you let it go. And next day, you either run into that person in the supermarket or they call you and say, and you're like, you know, that was so funny. I was just talking about you.
Yeah.
And then we use disempowering words like, what a coincidence.
Right.
How lucky am I? When, once again, it had nothing to do. Coincidence shouldn't even be a word because there's no such thing as it. Lucky is a word that we know what it is, but I would say quantum physics and science, there is no such word as lucky. You created it.
You do. And what's so awesome is when you write things off as a coincidence, guess what? You're noticing that something's happening. So you are stepping into it. Again, another topic that we had in the past. You already had that awareness to it. Now the next step is, it's not a coincidence. You actually have these powers. You have these abilities.
Absolutely. It's very powerful, but it's also, I think for me, it got scary because things I used to push or brush off as this is life, something I didn't have control of, was now all my responsibility. So it's powerful and scary at the same time. So you know what I'm saying with that?
So is that why you're saying it's like it's easier to write it off as a coincidence? Like there's no way that got it.
It's easier to say that was a coincidence because now that gives away control from the fact that I did it, because that also means things that I don't appreciate in my life, I had no control. But now if I accept that I had control of that, that means everything that ever happened to me was in my control. And for some people, that's a very hard topic to adjust because of their lives and what they experience. To say something like that, or the biggest thing we're going to hear a lot of times is, well, they're a child or they're a baby. Like, you don't get vibrational feelings as a kid until you get into an adult, and then you start getting vibration control of your life. That's not how life works. You don't not get it during this time and then get it later on.
It's always with you.
It's always working. It's always with you. So talking about today, let's talk about how you don't get what you want. And the key word is actually in the phrasing of it. Want, if you break that down, means pretty much don't have. Something that you do not have yet.
Well, say more, because where my mind goes is, I'll just throw it out there. Why you're not getting what you really, really want. I had, my experience is, we don't actually know what it is that we really, really want. I feel that we're living in 2 paradigms, human and spirit.
Multiple, right? Yes.
And I'll keep throwing that back out there because it is. And so while we think we might know what we want, we get in the way of spirit bringing what we really, really want. to us.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
okay, and so if we can take the human side and let it serve the parts that it's supposed to, which is
I like
emotions,
that.
feelings, thoughts. That's what the human experience is for, to feel all those. And then let spirit manifest it. And that means letting the human get out of the way of the path that we need to take to get there and
Yes.
just live through the experience, because the spirit, it sees and knows things beyond what you as a human could ever have it fathom.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love throwing this out here with what you're saying too. And everybody, this is not just religion. This is not just spirituality. For people that like to be fact or science based, this is science based talking. This is no longer something that, you can look at and not have proof of. This
Mm-hmm.
is stuff that's provable in the quantum world, in the quantum physics. Dr. Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza, these are quantum physicists, Greg Braden, that these guys in the lab stopped being just scientists or gave up medicine depending on where they used to work because they realized there was so much more and became what we're doing now because they realized it's so far beyond just what they were being restricted to learn in their schools.
So then, how would you tell somebody? Because just jumping right to it, if there's something that somebody really, really wants, okay, so you brought that to me. There's humans, there's spirit side, my desire, put it out there. How do you step into it?
Okay, so I would say it like this from what I learned. Life, physical, the six senses we have is a mirror or a reflection of your
Mm-hmm.
deepest, most purest feelings and thoughts and beliefs. Life's a reflection of everything. So, if life is more than a mirror, whereas it follows what you're focusing on, if you want something, you're telling life, I don't have it yet. And life is going to show you what you focus on most. So if you're telling life, that mirror, I want this, I want that car, I want that car, life hears, I don't have it yet. I
If you
and
keep,
so if you keep singing the tune of I don't have it, you have to, the quickest thing to do is flip from a desire to the feeling of having that you already have it.
I love that. It's kind of like we had said, is don't be patient, be prepared.
Yes, I love that.
Like putting your order
Yes.
out there. When you make a mail order, you order a dress online or pencils, you place the order, you hit click. I love that analogy when I heard that. And you go about your day and it arrives.
Absolutely. And you're
And so
confident.
your confidence is going to arrive. And it does. It does.
Absolutely.
So that is a takeaway is because, and I didn't even tell this to Mike prior to, we're on the countdown for 15 minutes. We're doing awesome. We're on 8 minutes. I want to ensure that they get everything in this
Okay.
session.
Perfect.
Is don't be patient, be prepared. Patience is another step that isn't necessary. Be ready. Be ready. If you put that order in, as Mike is saying, what are you doing? Are you ready to receive it?
Yes.
Is that what you're getting at?
Yes. 100%. And I love the way you said that. Um, Another analogy for people because I love descriptions of what you're saying. If you go to a restaurant and that's another we're talking about, and you place your order, you don't go into the back right away after you place your order and say, "Is it made? Is it ready? Is it ready yet?" Right away, you sit
Right.
there and you just
Actually, I
chat.
do.
Me too, actually. But but
I
the
just have to
cool.
use
I
that.
love. Actually, I'd love to get up and go in the kitchen and see what the chef's doing.
Right.
But
But
but the cool
normally,
thing is, but normally, saying for normal people out there, when you place an order, you know it's done. And the longer you, or the more time is what makes people doubt. The longer you wait, the more doubt begins to build. But if you can accept and understand how the universe works, it takes patience out of the equation because if you already have what you want in here, you don't have to wait for it. You don't have to want it. If you got that new car, you don't still want it anymore, you have it. So the trick is to take your mind and practice the art, because it's an art, of focusing like it already has been done. The feeling you'd have, let it go, Just keep flowing. And when it manifests, it will be so seamless that it looks like what people call magic, coincidence, luck, whatever. But you'll know better.
You'll know better. And a quick personal story is, Mike, remember when Mom, she always shared the story of she had a house, her dream house, that she could only, what is it? She couldn't even believe something that
Mm-hmm.
she could possibly even manifest in her life. But what did she do? They were in a little apartment, and she packed up the boxes, and she created that. She's like, she was being prepared for it, and it happened. And we can probably get into the details in another conversation.
And that's
But
the house we grew up in our whole
that's the
life,
house
was
we
this
grew up with.
beautiful house.
It's a beautiful home. And so we always want to leave with homework assignments is a word, but it's, I don't know if we want to use the word homework, but for now, we'll just use a homework assignment. A takeaway is for you, no matter how scary it feels to just flick a desire out there and let it go. Hey, try it. Try it. It's
What do
easy
you
to
have to
say,
lose?
a lot to gain. There's a
A
lot to
lot to
gain.
gain. Right, exactly. Exactly. Practice, guys. Practice on our switch, flipping the switch. As much as we practice being negative and believing things are going to happen, it's going to take practice to start thinking the other way. Just don't get frustrated with yourself, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it will be like that. And that's
Mm-hmm.
okay too. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay.
All of it is.
It really is. And where
That
are
was
we at,
it.
Ellie? How much time are we at right here?
We did really, really good. So we're at 12 minutes. We're going to leave them with that.
Mm-hmm.
Setting out your desires, letting them be, and
Write them
step
down.
into.
Write them down.
I like that too. Journaling, yes.
Yes, need to write that down so that you know that you have it on paper. It's so important to verbalize
Mm-hmm.
and write it down. Use as many different ways to get that idea, that goal into your mind, into your heart. You have to do it that way. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's a very important step, I believe, in doing it.
Yes. And then the
Yeah.
next step is, hey, cross out being patient and
Yes.
replace that with be prepared. So step into that and be ready for it. Be ready for it.
Absolutely.
I love
Absolutely.
that.
Right there.
All right,
Yes.
guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to catch you guys on the flip side.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ellie. See you. High five. Bam.
High five.
Later. See you.
See you, Mike.
All right.